Okay, picking up where we left off, we're on page 406 in the middle of doing a radio button. So I'm going to say the ID is going to be equal to status. I wish I came up with a better word for that. I don't know, what's your class standing? Maybe that's the right term. I don't know what it is. So name, status. This gets boring after a while when you have to have the name and the thing happen. So that's my status, and just like the other, I have to tell it this is going to be, this one is going to be the, well, doggone it. Yeah, okay. Well, let me go ahead and just do this. Let me go ahead and just do junior. And then we'll do another input guy. And he's going to also be a radio button. And he's going to have, yikes, that would have been type. Type equals radio. And then same thing over again. We're going to do ID is equal to status. And name equals status. Close that guy off and say senior. And go ahead and give me a break. Give me a break. Alright, so the problem here, it'll be somewhat obvious. It's going to look pretty good. And I can only have one or the other. I can't have both of these guys being connected at any one time. That makes sense? So, right off the bat, what's the difference between a checkbox and a radio box? Alright, radio box is mutually exclusive, one or the other. But did you notice when I started this guy, I ended up violating the rule? Because I told you that it could only be one or the other and never could be both and never could be none. Well, I just said it never could be none. Okay, so you need to go in there and fix it. Whenever you do a radio button, one of the things you need to do is go ahead and have one of them be checked. Because otherwise you're violating the rule. Okay, so got that one. Woohoo! So now one of them is checked. All right, so let me go ahead and do some stuff here. I'm going to say, Bob Smith. Maybe I want both of these and that, and I want it to be a senior. And so all I got was status on. Well, which one did I select? Weird, huh? Like, I need to have some way of telling you which one of those things works with what. I tell you what, let's do the status guy. Let's change him. So I'm going to change this to junior. Then I'm going to go over here to this guy and change him to senior. Let's try that. That ought to work. So, whoops. I broke something. Now they're not mutually exclusive anymore. Well, doggone it, that ain't gonna work. So the name basically has to be the same, whatever this class standing is. That has to be status. In fact, status is the way that you group two of these things together. Let's say, for example, you had multiple radio buttons, a group of radio buttons talking about gender. And so you have like male, female, and other. And then you have another one that says, what's your class standing? You're either junior, senior, or you're a grad student. Freshman, junior, senior, whatever. If you want to keep those guys separate, all you have to do is just call them by a different name. That's it. That's all you got to do to make that happen. So how the heck do I do this? Well, let's do value. Let's see what that looks like. So when that one gets turned on, that one says, and this one, when we do value, it says senior. Let's see if that works. So go back to here. Now my radio button works because it only gets one of these guys. So I type in Bob Smith, and I send my data. Now it comes back and says status equals senior. Okay. So I need that name guy to be the same, but I need to have some way of telling, unlike here, where blue equals true or whatever you want it to be, the value was just indicating whether or not it was on or off. So you could have said on, off, true, false, yes, no, whatever your heart desires. But here, the radio button means something a little different. I have to send the data that's associated with it in the value. Okay, cool. We are cooking. So, yes, can you start off with a violation of the rules? Is it possible that you could have both of them checked or none of them checked as a starting position? Yeah. How do you fix that? By just going in and manually making one of them checked. That's it. That's all you got to do. You just make one of them checked and you're good to go. The machine will take care from there. On page 407, this one's a little hard to explain. Let's say, for example, that I wanted to send data to the other end, okay, but not show it to the human, okay? In other words, every time you hit submit, I wanted to send something for processing. Let me give an example. Let's say, for example, that I'm buying something and I want to have a discount, and I want to be able to send the discount, but I don't want to show the discount to the person, right? You know, like what my profit margin is or something like that. So there's a thing called a hidden field. So I'm going to go here, and since it's not going to show up, okay, it's not going to show up. I'm not going to put a label next to it. That would be dumb, right? So I'm going to say input type hidden. Okay. And so then I just say value equals, I don't know, 5% discount. Doesn't matter what it is. It's not really relevant. Okay? Cool? Makes sense? So do I need to give it a name? Yeah, I need to give it a name. Do I need to? I'll go ahead and give the whole thing. So this is my discount. And name equals discount. In fact, here I'll just go ahead and say, whoa. Instead of 5%, I'm just going to discount. I'm just going to say 5%. Okay, I already told you this is a hidden field, right? So what am I expecting to see? Not much. Okay, so I put in here Bob Smith, and I like both red and blue, and I'm a junior. And what got sent was everything. Cool? Now, unless you're a programmer, you're probably thinking, why would I do that? And so, since I'm not assuming that you're programmers, just this is how it's done. Okay? Why you'd want to do that? That's somebody else's problem. So, hidden fields are legitimate things to do. People use this. And in fact, some of the most sophisticated, client-based, server-based web programming uses hidden fields a lot. Okay? Behind the scenes. So, it's definitely being used. The next one is the password box. And so you guys know what I'm talking about here. Hey, since this guy doesn't show up, I don't really need to do a BR, right? Not really. But I'm going to do that just to be consistent. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to say, I don't know, enter your password. And then I'm going to say input, and the type is going to be password. Okay. And I need to have all the rest of those things. So ID is equal to password. Name is equal to password. Okay. All right. Everybody happy? Well, let's start. So you could ask, what is the difference between the two? So I type Bob here. And here I type Bob. So it obscures the data, typically with an asterisk or some sort of a dot or something. But when I send the data, it sends it now. Now do you understand why you don't want to use the default get method? Because it would have sent password Bob in the clear over the internet. Anyone could have looked at that. If they caught that packet in the internet, it would have the guy's name and his password in clear text. That sucks. So yeah, don't use that. Use the posts method instead. Cool? All right. Okay, so the difference between a text box and a password box is minimal. It has the exact same features. You know, it still has the width guy. I mean, the number of characters guy, right? And it has the default and all that. Everything is exactly the same. The only difference is this one obscures the text. By the way, have you ever seen? Let me show you a cool trick. A lot of people get. Let's say you walked up to the screen. Bob was in the middle of logging in, and he got this far and got called away. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to light this up and do Control C, and then go open me a notepad and do Control V. Oh, that did not work. I was expecting. Okay, never mind. There's a way that you can see what's inside, what's behind the dots. Okay, there's a way you can do that, although I can't do it now. So anyway, bottom line is the password box is, it's okay, but it's not used in top secret stuff, as you can probably imagine. The next one is what's called sometimes you want to have like a single line to type in your first name, but what if you had a comment section, right? Where you want multiple lines. I need something different than just an input box. And up to now, every single one of our controls has been input with a type. Not this one. Okay, this is a different one. Instead of saying input, this one's called text area. Text area. Okay? And so I'm going to go ahead and put something here like comments. Well, let's just see what this thing looks like. And yep, here's if you have stuff, it'll automatically throw in that. I forgot to do the break behind it, but beside the point. Okay, cool. Let's talk about one of the things. Instead of having a value pair here, the value is just what appears between the opening and closing. So if I said something like, enter your comments here, that'll appear inside the box. So how big do you want this thing to be? What do you think the options are? Well, they kind of do like rows and columns. It's a little odd. Columns is the width in characters. So let's go here and say column equals like 25. And then rows, I don't know, rows maybe 5, something like that. 5. All right, let's see what this looks like. And we'll do it one more time. So now I got a little bigger box. Cool? And it'll automatically throw in scroll bars if I go. I'm going to have to type a bunch of stuff. In fact, I'm going to light this up since I don't like to type. Okay, the scroll bars finally do appear whenever you have text in there. Cool? All right, let's go ahead and send this data. What happened? Well, did I provide it a name? Nope, I did not. ID equals comments. Name equals comments. Okay, you want to try that one more time? It was great. Whatever the thing is. My password is... Okay. And now I get the thing back. Cool. All right. So there's nothing really special about this. It just allows you to type in more information and hit like a carriage return and go down to the next line. That kind of line editing stuff, multiple stuff. This is a good place to start for the 15-minute mark. And we'll pick this thing up again in just a few.